folks, welcome back to the channel. This is a bit of a follow-up evaluation after the falling of the large Tamarack. Certainly it ended on a very positive note, and after I was done the limbing and so on, I went back and did a little more thorough evaluation. So the fact that the tree came out almost perfectly exactly where it was aimed, absolutely, no question there. The tree did come about 10 feet short of my predicted stick estimate. No harm in that.
Right, if it had been 10 feet too long, that might have been a problem, because that's where I was.
Well, mistakes will happen. So, you know, that's certainly not a serious issue in this case, and, you know, I need to perhaps try and refine to get a little more accurate. But I'd like to, after Debbie shows you, if she can, a bit of a shot in line with the stick and the tree, we'll take a walk further down.
Okay, so there's Michael's stick. I'm not sure how well you can see. You can see the break in the trees here, which is where the Tamarack came down. And maybe if I step over, you may just see where he runs, is right along there. So that part went very well.
I can stand out if you want.
Can you? Yeah.
There's a mixture here. I would say this is the line of the tree.
Right, and there's the stick. So directional part went well.
Yep.
Okay. So then okay, so I am basically sitting on the base of the downed Tamarack.
Great. Starting to bend a bit.
Quiet.
Okay. So my plan was that this trunk would go neatly between this mountain ash and over here. I believe this might be a service area, and I apologize, I'm not very good on my shrubs. Because these are both good habitat trees, they both produce berries. The problem is I didn't take into account that this large limb right here was just going to take that mountain ash pretty well out. Now I am going to come back and try and see if I can rehab them a bit. So that was, and of course, obviously a branch on this side also took out this tree. So that was not planned. So that was an error in my assessment. And then we'll have a look at the stump, because for those who know how to rate the stump, all errors, if any, are reported there. Okay, so this had nothing to do with the limb and the damage that's done there.
The fact that you miscalculated how far up your first limb was.
Okay, so this is my hinge on this side. It's about 2 inches, maybe a little bit less. And on this side, it's maybe 2.5 inches. So all in all, that's quite decent. But once I swung around with the saw, because I couldn't get all the way through with the saw on this side, because I would have been short to about there, maybe even a little bit more. So when I came on my backhand over here, you can see right here I thinned out the hinge to virtually nothing in this spot right in here.
I'm on the wrong side to really show it, but
Now overall, that's not huge in terms of falling this tree. However, it's not good either in terms of, it should have been nicer. It should have been more even. It shouldn't have been thinned that much. And although it had no consequences to the overall outcome, it's just a bit of sloppiness on my part that happened. And done at the wrong time or to a greater degree in the wrong circumstance, there might be negative and indeed horrible
disastrous.
consequences.
In other words, you were lucky.
Well, no, not exactly. I mean, I wouldn't call it quite into that category. But it's something that typically you wouldn't want to see in somebody who's doing this with great precision. And ideally, that's what we all should try and aim for, especially when we're dealing with large trees. Although smaller trees can be very harmful, when you set a tree of this size for this part of the world in motion, you know, damage to smaller trees along the way can, you know, unintended, can cause things to come flying back. Like they say, everything comes back to the stump. In other words, when it goes in that direction, anything that gets bent seriously or whatever can easily come flying back.
Fling back at you.
Which is why typically your safe area is 45 degrees in either
Off to the
direction,
side.
away from the stump towards the back. So, you know, I just didn't want to leave it with the impression that everyone went perfect with this falling, and because I think that's misleading, and more importantly, I don't want to mislead myself, because that's what's becomes fatal if you just pretend that you were perfect and keep doing the same thing, because it wasn't. So
no false news on this channel.
We try.
Or fake news, sorry.
We try. So, all in all, not bad. Pretty good. Just could have been better, and
room for a bit of improvement.
yes, well, you see, the other bit of damage was this fir tree where it snapped. So that big limb took the top
Took the top off of it, yeah.
And again,
which is what landed on the mountain ash.
right. And so if somebody had have been in that area, which they shouldn't have been, I mean, there could have been some injuries and nasties.
Fortunately, this isn't Lily's stomping ground, so you didn't have to deal with your rough, gross friend.
Well, I'm almost ceasing to worry about her. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Just a short one to try and, you know,
correct any misconceptions.
Exactly. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.
Thanks for watching, guys.